In this video, it is the highlight reel of 2022 here on HubNut. Clearly, it's been a year of some fairly major ups and downs at various times, but overall, very, very positive. Total views during the year, 9.3 million, and that's 431,000 likes. And I don't even know where to start with comments, so many of them, and I do try to interact with as many as possible. Keeps me busy quite a lot of the time. In terms of the top videos for views, oddly, it isn't one from 2022 at all. It's Tuk versus Tuk Tuk, which I filmed last March, just as we were coming out of first lockdown. So I seem to have gone viral in India recently. That has helped that video to over 231,000 views. And second to that was the windscreen one I filmed at Tanagrois, where I poured a kettle of boiling water onto a windscreen to see if it would explode. And then the Austin 7, very pleasingly. And we're away! Oh, this is terrible. Look how little steering input is needed. It is so direct. Bit of free play, bit of slot there to go from one way to the other. As you'll see, I went to the National Motor Museum and drove a vintage Austin there, and it didn't do so well for views. And I was thinking, well, this is just it. People aren't interested. But the Austin 7 has bucked the trend and is at number 3. In the running for videos, 113,000 views. So thank you to everyone who watched that. In terms of total stats, HubNut now has 1,316 videos, or 1,317 including this one. Did 202, now 203 with this one, videos in 2022 alone, and just 3 lives. Not enough. So we'll try and do more lives next year. I think they're good fun. And I've done 3 shorts as well, but no one is very much interested in shorts, so I think I'll leave that side of things to TikTok. So going all the way back to January 2022, the very first video was waking up Foxanne, the Reliant Fox, from her slumbers to get her ready for an MOT, and what was to be an interesting couple of months, for she was to head off for some adventures. Didn't know then that she would be for sale later in the year, but hey, let's not issue spoilers, eh? Let's carry on and jump into what we were doing in January. In this video, Foxanne's MOT preparations continue. It is New Year's Day, so Happy New Year to everybody. It's the first day of 2022. It's another video on Delia, the Fiat Multipla. I wasn't expecting to be making another video, but here we go. It's departure day. She's off to a new home. Owners had trouble trying to get transport, so I thought, sod it, I'll just drive her myself. Which will be interesting for reasons you will soon find out. Yeah, I'm not sure too many people were sad to see the back of the Multipla. It's definitely one of the more colourful vehicles on the fleet. And shortly after that, we filmed Harlech, where we took Betty. So Betty has now driven down the steepest streets in the world, both of the claimed streets, the one in New Zealand and in Wales. So that was nice to kick off as well. And then there were further adventures for Foxanne as we headed up to Yorkshire. Oh, it's very windy, but this is Marsden Moor. Oh, I'm getting back in the car now. Oh, a tickover's come up because she's got a little warm on that. We've just been climbing for ages, it seems. Not all that warm in here. There's so many air leaks, especially around the back body, but it's quite cold. I'm considering putting my coat on before I continue. Yep, that was cold. And then it was off to crown rust proofing to finally give Giselle the waxing she desperately needed after DFTR Automotive had fitted new quarter floors. So that put Giselle in decent fettle. And then after that, it was the electric Bluebird. Remember that? That was an absolute corker, built by Nissan to mark their anniversary. Oh yeah, here we are, motoring along at 60 miles an hour. You can hear a bit of road noise, but it's mostly wind noise, I think. In February, we started something that didn't turn out quite as we hoped. We began what was meant to be an engine overhaul on Chemia de Sherrard, and which escalated somewhat. Well, there we go. We seem to have achieved a state of front end falls off. There we go. Ah.
Oh, gently!
Yeah, we quickly discovered the engine wasn't very healthy and decided to replace it, which has been the longest project ever, I think, on HubNut, and is still ongoing at the time of recording. Here's a quicker way to extract an engine, as we discovered at Tanagrois Car Dismantlers. Oh. There's a reason we're standing a long way away from this. Don't worry, we are not immediately behind the camera. It probably sounds like we are, but we are considerable distance away. Oh, there we go.
That's the engine.
That's the engine and gearbox out.
You know what? I don't think that's how we're going to do it to Chevy.
Yeah.
Somehow.
It wasn't just at Tannegroy's car dismantlers that we made new friends in the local area. We also met Whiteland Restorations. It feels a lot longer. It feels like we've been friends for years, but it's actually only since February 2022 when we went for a visit to their workshop to see what they were up to.
A couple of additions at the back end.
Yeah, I was going to say that's notably not what one of these would have looked like. Well, I suppose the race cars would, because they did operate them in a European touring car.
Flying bricks.
Yeah. So is that the sort of vibe you were going for?
No, it's just a really cool spoiler on the back.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
It had to have a ducktail. And so I made it.
Videos don't always appear in sequence. So back when I was on my trip around Yorkshire and Foxanne, we actually hopped over the border into Lancashire to visit Baxenden Car Breakers. They said, we've got some proper treats for you. And here they are. I've managed to clamber through to the other side. I've had to leave the umbrella behind for another mouldy caravan. Morris Minors are plenty. I think this would have been a split screen one, so it's probably a series 2. We've got a side valve Ford here. I think it's a side valve. And then we've got this Saab 900 here, the 4-door saloon version. Another Morris Minor, still with windscreen. An MG Midget, I think that would be a rubber bumper one, fairly late in that rather lurid colour. From one extreme to another, we then visited Electric Classic Cars. They're over in the next county, Powys, and have been doing the TV show Vintage Voltage with a great deal of success. Converting classic cars, always going to cause some upset in the classic car world, but I think they're doing some very interesting things. So these are the Ferrari Testarossas they're going to be converting. An unexpected piece of safety advice occurred back in March when I had to take my 2CV to Devon, for reasons we'll cover in a minute, and discovered at the last minute, just before I set off, that the fuel pipe in the engine bay was completely deteriorated. So let's take a look at this little worrying development. In this video, I'm off road tripping in the 2CV. Now that really has degraded very badly. I don't know if that's because of ethanol or just because there was a batch of absolutely useless fuel hose that just does that anyway. That trip was also the end of Ellie's engine. It was knocking really badly by the time we got back home again, but what wasn't filmed at the time was the reason for that, and that was to go and see my sister. My sister was in very poor health at the time and sadly less than a week later passed away, which wasn't brilliant because we then had the Practical Classics Classic Car and Restoration show at the NEC 1 week after that. So we were there, I was there with Foxanne and with Betty putting on a brave face, but that is one of the hardest shows I've ever had to attend, trying to put on the brave face with everything that was going on behind the scenes, and the impact of that was felt right through 2022. It was just so difficult to get the head back in the right space to make videos. So there were little bursts of creativity, but really it took many months to try and get back to where I felt I needed to be in the right headspace. So yeah, that really did knock the stuffing out of us completely. A good thing to come out of the NEC Restoration Show was meeting a certain Tim of Cambrian Classics just up the road. So April began with us going to visit him in his workshop and watch him go to great lengths to restore a Morris Minor Traveller, and that became a series of videos. Utterly fascinating, great escapism for me. Didn't do particularly well for views, but I found it utterly fascinating to see just how those are constructed. And that set off a whole range of crazy adventures in April. We went down to Sussex and met up with Matt Furious Driving, who we'd been with at the NEC, and we did a big Ford Swapsy session. We went to Chop's Garage down in Devon and met James for the first time and had a little chat with him. We tried climbing a mountain in Betty, didn't go well. We had the HubNut Social, which did go well, and sadly proved to be the only one we organised that year, but you can probably understand the reasons why. We also test drove a Peugeot Partner, which may have had an influence on us, as we'll see later in the year, and I found another scrapyard to explore.
So, Intrepid Explorer, what happens next?
We go back because this next section, if you can see it, is very twisty, and we just haven't got the ground clearance.
Yeah, there's a huge dip there just ahead.
Yeah, we'll just get beached. Well, hello and welcome to the HubNut Social, the first one of 2022 here at the Motorist. It's fascinating, wonderful mix of cars. We're going to go down and have a look. So that was the Peugeot partner, or pretty much Citroën Berlingo. Yeah, I think we really should have bought one of these. They make cracking family transport. And like I say, these pre-facelift ones, Berlingos and partners, getting very rare now. In this video, a monumental search around a field absolutely chock full of rusty old metal. Oh, this is going to be fun. Oh, hi, Diego. You want to join in?
What you got to say, Diego?
You got anything to say? No?
What did you enjoy?
Ah! Savaged! May was more of a stay-at-home month. We had Barley Saturday and took the Invacar. We bought our own Berlingo, inspired by the Peugeot partner. Not going to bite me again, are you? And we said goodbye to the Yugo, and we also took Giselle to Whiteland Restorations for a little love and a lesson in masking tape. This is astonishing. I know they're not all here just for the cars, but even so, this is truly remarkable to see so many people out having a nice time in Cardigan. Right, without further ado, let's reveal the amazing vehicle. Look at that dramatic pan around. Yes, it's a metallic green Citroën Berlingo Multispace. And there we go. This Volkswagen Touareg is going to be taking the Sana away. Keep an eye out on the Fuel Power YouTube channel, and it may well be cropping up on there. Plastic time then.
Plastic.
Oh, there you go, you got it.
I don't know, it just fell apart.
Yeah, Houston, I think we've found the problem. Sedimentary, dear Watson. June was another fairly quiet month, but we did manage to go to the Pembrokeshire Classic Car Show, which proved to be an absolute giant. There were so many cars, and we tried to film all of them, which turned into a bit of a mammoth session. Enormous Lincolns, tiny little Minis, there was everything there. And we also met a tiny little Auto Bianchi Bianchina van, which we would see later in the year. So this was our first sight of it as we met it at the show. You back again? Chihuahua Jack Russell Cross. An interesting mix. Anyway, July. That did prove to be quite the month. Far from relaxing at home, I went adventuring all over the place. So in the next series of clips, you're going to see the Dutch Berlingo trip. Took the Berlingo over to the Netherlands, had a mighty drive around. We went to Japan Classic Sunday and saw a very early Prince Skyline. Magnificent. We bought Bob. Obviously a key highlight. I did the 90,000 subs Leyland National Drive. I actually filmed that on the way to the Netherlands, along with a Vauxhall Astra. We borrowed Kitch's Citroën C6, and here's an amusing little clip from that burst.
So they've switched off now. They're watching Furious Driving now.
263 at 3,000.
Oh, I said 270 at 3.5.
Definitely without looking it up. I know this is 263 pound-foot of torque. What was it? 4,000 RPM?
3,000.
3,000.
Yeah, this is 325.
In this video, to celebrate 90,000 subscribers, it's another Leyland National. Why ever not? Looking particularly forward to this because this is not just a national, this is a super national. Hello, doors. Never work with children, animals or buses. So yeah, I swapped Betty for another big car, this time the C6, and went driving all around Devon and everywhere, all over the place in that. And then there was further fallout from the Dutch trip. Some of it good. The Metropole Classics video, what an amazing collection of cars that is. And the Renault Espace and Avantime that I've filmed. And Timo may have been influenced because he now owns a Conway Cruiser. I didn't even know they made it to the Netherlands. But yeah, not all good, because Bella's suspension also failed quite dramatically after we'd visited the mighty Dacia and Rich. In this video, we have bought an engine hoist to Shropshire because it's Rich and the mighty Dacia. Well, we've had to call out recovery. There is no point. Well, it'd be ridiculous to try and drive home on the bump stops while towing. It would be ridiculous to attempt even not towing. But yeah, that is unhitched, and we are still absolutely slammo. August began with our Festival of the Unexceptional Report, a complete highlight of the year, and some vlogs around our camping experiences as well that appeared, I think, on the HubNotes channel. We then tackled, oh no, it was before that show, we tackled Betty's headliner to make it better for the show. And it just about lasted for the show, but then we had a heat wave and then it didn't last. But there were various debacles trying to get it fitted, and we have a workable solution in place that needs addressing at some point in the future. Also drove the surprising Skoda with the K-Series engine, and that sounds like this. Haggerty then treated us to Radwood, an event focusing on 80s and 90s cars, so I took Giselle the GSA camping, sadly without Bob, just had to go on my little Euro hike, and yeah, fantastic event. And the raddest car on the day belonged to some friends of mine. Well, there we go, Eddie and Bernie have won the show and the 1980s sports car category with their Nissan Pulsar Exa, which is another good opportunity to take in the remarkable interior. Oh, and he's got his 80s Ghetto Blaster on the back seat as well. Eddie and Bernie both look the part. So that is the raddest car at Radwood 2022. Then we took Bob camping again, this time with Bella, and went to a 2CV meet, which proved to be an absolute hoot. Wonderful event, and it's just so good to be amongst friends in the 2CV scene again. I'd missed it so much, and next time we will go with an actual 2CV. And then we went to Pembrey Circuit and drove Giselle on 3 wheels. September had some amazing motoring highlights, so I think the easiest thing to do is to shut up and let the vehicles talk. Oh, there is no way I'm waiting to the end of the video for this. Let's see if we can operate the windscreen washers and take in these crazy wipers that sort of just overlap. Oh yes. Yeah, how's that for a month of sounds and wacky windscreen wipers as well? I only included the Alpines, for which I apologise. Just go and watch the Panhard one. The wipers were there. The other highlight of September was going to the Fuel Power meet and being reunited with the Yugo Sana. So good to see it again. And Matt, who owns it, now owns 2 Sanas. So that's getting a little out of hand. Jumping into October, the big news in October was going to get Miss Daisy. So here's a little nugget from that.
Oh!
Wow.
Oh!
That was unexpected. That actually started.
There she goes.
I wanted to go. I'm slightly concerned it really wanted to go. I'm at a train station. There are trains. Here we go then. Sleek beast. Look at that wiper action. Oh. Well, it's a good start. I've gone the wrong way, apparently. Well, where are you, little car? Well, hello. You're my new car. And again, October, a very busy month, as we've already mentioned. Went to the National Motor Museum, and yeah, absolutely fascinating. We played with some of the cars. I had a ride on that incredible 1903 Napier race car. Astonishing. And then we came home, we waxed Miss Daisy, and then experienced the Rover with a very significant difference. Now, are you steering?
I am steering.
Or is it actually me?
Oh, I thought I was
But we're in a
steering.
double-ended Rover 75. The assimilation was completed when I found myself at the Caravan and Motorhome show at the NEC. I don't know how it happened. Utterly clueless. November proved to be another very busy month, so much for it quietening down towards the end of the year. The most significant thing was the engine change on Ellie the 2CV. We still hadn't completed the Daihatsu one at this stage, but thankfully 2CVs are a little bit easier. So we were easily able to hoik her engine out and get her ready to go to the NEC Classic Motor Show, the typical season ender. And what an amazing show that was, which also included a bit of camping with Matt Furious. Well, we're back in Hall 1. You may have seen this in the live stream. Crabber's Brown Ital, Ivan, the Frisky Monte Carlo, the Outspan Orange, and the Relic electric vehicles. I haven't yet got their funky lights on, but obviously we're all about the sauna, really.
It was a windy night.
Nice. It really was. It was really unpleasant. The wind was just slapping the tent. Now, one of my YouTube highlights of 2022 wasn't on my channel at all. It was the 24-hour live stream that Kitch did on the Up and Down video channel. A remarkable endeavour that he did for a local charity to him, Sophie's Legacy. And the work they do is absolutely incredible. So it was a fascinating interview with Sophie's mum, Charlotte, about why the charity exists. And then, yeah, we just tried to support Kitch through the live stream, getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning to see if he was still going, which he was. Much perked up by Alex, his friend, who came to bring him breakfast and, yeah, wake him up a bit, because it's a serious undertaking. And there were various technical issues that he had to overcome during it. So it was an absolute joy to be a part of. And, yeah, well done, Kitch. It was absolutely superb. When are you doing the next one? And that same day, actually, that we were sort of taking part in that live stream, there was a local event for a local lad, Leon, who sadly killed himself 2 years ago. And his family and friends came together to organise a road run. We didn't make a video about it, but we will have the stickers available from that on our website. We're not charging any fee. We are just letting people buy stickers who want to support the work this charity does. The aim being to provide a bilingual helpline for people who are at the end of their tether, who feel there is no option. But yeah, there was so much love for Leon, and it's very sad that he obviously couldn't see that at the end. So yeah, it's good to have these charities supporting such things. With all the charity things done, we then got the electric Fiat to play with. That has caused some debate and discussion on the channel. And as a nice contrast, here's the Zastava we drove afterwards. Oh, lovely gearbox, whining first. No synchromesh on first. Seems happy to rev, third gear, not a problem at all. Now, December proved a fairly significant month in itself. I went to have a good mooch around Brightwell's auctions. That was good fun. I drove the Austin 7, the video I mentioned right at the beginning of this, and that was absolutely incredible. Fantastic experience. And there was something else that occurred in December, an engagement to a certain Miss HubNut. And hopefully through this union we can make more Miss HubNut videos happen next year. There's also another looming collaboration with Whiteland Restorations to end the year.
Bad at all. But you can see there's a swage line that's coming down here. It looks like it's going to join into the bumper about there. But yeah, we can bring her into the workshop, and I think I could possibly teach you guys how to do this work.
Oh no.
Which will be interesting.
It will definitely be interesting. So that was that. That was 2022. Definitely a mixture with plenty of difficulties along the way. and perhaps some still to come. But yeah, 2023, looking forward to it. Determined to get more tinkering done. I think I'll make that New Year's resolution every year. Get that charade finished. We have the bits, and we're only a few nuts away from success, we hope. And carry out some improvements to the other cars on the fleet. Tuk desperately needs a makeover. Betty needs a suspension overhaul. There's still a lot to be done, even though I have succeeded in my mission to reduce the fleet numbers overall. But as ever, thanks for watching. Thanks so much for your support, and I look forward to seeing you in 2023. Farewell.